WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Jackson.
You could make up a social media holiday. What would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta
attack.
get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that? Yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
there's an African American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Sometimes have a tendency to look at you religiously, but nothing even matters to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. You won't find me at your side. I have no time for manicures. It's never been the one, 'cause nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters at all. Nothing even Nothing even matters. Now my team could score and make it to the final four. Just repossess me 4x4. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters no more. Nothing even matters, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing even matters to me.
WIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same street with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him sure this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show on a Tuesday. That's right, I'm blowing up. Boom! Like a Tuesday. Reese, you still ain't gonna hit that bomb for me, huh? You just decided you just ain't gonna do it. It's all good, though. It's all right.
Even though it's going up, you still want the bomb.
I said, hey, man, I hit the bomb like I hit it 50 times last week. Boom! Right? I said it's my. I changed the name of the song. I done blew it up. So it's like you can just hit that button. It's like boom in the morning when I say blowing up. Boom! Like Tuesday. So I be tearing this mug up on Tuesdays. I be feeling a certain way. I got some good sleep yesterday. I just decided that I wasn't even gonna try to stay up. I just submitted to the will of the sleep. Got me some Book of Canaan. Power Book 3 Canaan. Hey, man, I like that show. I just feel like that is literally the era I grew up in, except I couldn't get none of those clothes. I had the generic version of everything they had, or I got it. Like, I got everything after it was on its second sale. Like, it would still be new, but it would, you know how stuff start, like, it'd be at the main store, then the next season it'd be at the next store. then to be at Foreman Mills type, right? Because you can go like to places like that and get a lot of stuff. You just might be 2 back, unless it's like school uniforms. And you can really pick through, but I was always on the second go-round. Like, so my mom would find it, and she'd be like, look what I got. I was like, Mom, I wanted that 3 years ago when I was a freshman. I'm a senior now. Senior year, I'm walking around with freshman year gear on, thinking brand new, too. Like, brand new. You know how you wanted that? And then people be like, yeah, man. It's okay, though, because I'm still blowing up on a Tuesday. It's the world. It's. I feel good, though. I feel good on this Tuesday morning. I got me a good night's sleep. Man, Book of Canaan was good. We got to talk about, so House of Dragons. House of the Dragon came on Sunday. I just had to make sure I didn't miss nothing. And I clearly did not. I also yesterday, I know that I know my hateful part. I know the super conscious black people will be like, you gonna kill yourself. But I did make a bacon wrapped meatloaf yesterday. Did I tell you about my secret ingredient instead of crackers? Cheez-Its. If you put Cheez-Its in your meatloaf instead of, it will be flavorful, like super flavorful. Yesterday I used the spicy. Like I like when you can get the mixed bag. And then you get the mix, the white cheddar and the spicy toasty. You crunch them up. I'm telling you, man, ain't nothing better. Then I wrapped it in bacon like basket weave. My son was like, could I get mine without bacon, please? I was like, I understand. More bacon for me. Sorry. All right, y'all. I know. I'm sure that the comments will like, no pork on my fork. I did it for like 30 years. I really did. One day, you know what, Riis? Although I lived on the west side, they said these old affiliations that stopped me from eating pork. And so I had a piece of bacon. Then I had a fried pork chop. Then I had a rib tip. I just stay in that realm, though. I don't really go outside of that. Them 3 things, and I really eat them sparingly. But I gotta tell you, I used to psych myself. I never went for the turkey bacon. Never. I used to psych myself into believing that the beef bacon tastes. You know how like vegans be like, it tastes almost like almost. I used to psych myself up. And then I had a piece of bacon and it was just I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to my activists, to the nation, to everybody that I have disappointed. I apologize wholeheartedly. But that bacon wrapped meatloaf, boy, I'm going to tell you, it was good to the mug. Then I threw a little cheddar, like a little 3-cheese blend inside of it. So it was like a cheeseburger meatloaf, but not a lot, just so you could taste the hints. Boom! It was good. Blowing up on Monday, too. But it was good. And I got leftovers for today. So I'm going to be in a good space. All right, y'all. It's the Mays Jackson Show on a Tuesday. That's right. I'm blowing up. DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. How you feeling this morning?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest. Actually, this is like a continuous day from yesterday for me. So when I went home, I actually just ate. And I went to sleep about 11 a.m. and I woke up today at 4 a.m. So it's just like, it's literally like I walked out and walked right back in. That's why I laughed when I came in. I was like, it didn't look like I went nowhere.
The Lord, I've been here. The Lord will catch you up real quick. He will. He'll get you. He'll be like, you thought you thought you could do it, but you think you could go 48 hours straight? He'd be like, all right, sit your ass down. And the next thing you know, you be like, where am I? And the worst thing is, like, have you ever woke up and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's like dark, so you can't really tell, or like 6 o'clock and you be like, wait, please, God, please tell me it's not tomorrow. And they be like, no, it's 6 o'clock and the news is on. We getting to that time, Riis. The clocks, the darkness.
About 2 more months left.
No, Reese, it's already starting to get shady at like 7.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's like you be looking out there like, hold on, y'all tripping. Y'all are straight tripping. But it's okay. Dang, man, these things be pinching me behind the ears right now. It's okay. All right, these new glasses, I got some other new glasses too, though. I'm about to bust them out too. But I do be liking my little, I be looking like, except for when I go outside now, they turn dark. And then if I don't give them no time, then people be like, why you wearing sunglasses inside? And I be like, because I used to wear sunglasses inside anyway. You know, I used to wear sunglasses at every meeting. Like, straight up. Like, dark sunglasses. Like, you'd be sitting in a meeting at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Sunglasses.
For what?
Man, sunglasses, chain.
You thought you was cool or something?
I didn't think I was cool. I knew I was cool. People used to be like, are you really wearing sunglasses? I'd be like, you want to do this business or no? Y'all don't be knowing, man. I'm telling you. I was fresh to death back in the day, man. Now I feel like I'm trying to be the old man. I want to be the old man cool. Like, I don't want to dress. I don't want no skinny jeans like y'all be wearing skinny jeans. But I do want to be old man fresh. You know what I'm saying? Where nobody can never really front on you. Where your kids be like, all right, he ain't trying to be like, I ain't trying to wear your clothes. Well, my kids be trying to get my clothes. And I be like, nah, you ain't cool enough yet. It's okay, though. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. Looks like we are going to be flying solo today. I forgot this, when blah, 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 blah. Ruthie will be back on Friday. So let's do this. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. Hey, Riis. They finally fired Fauci. They trying to play it off. He's leaving in December. What's the man, like 91 years old? Hey, Joe, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but finally, do you know this dude got appointed during Ronald Reagan's era? Was you alive when Ronald Reagan was the president? Okay, so imagine, Reed, can you be the expert that long? Like, nobody gets better than you ever? Ever? Like, at 91, Reed, do you really think he's looking at the computer? Do you really? Do you think?
Easy money. He just collecting a check.
Man, he got a title and just stayed and coasted it. Meanwhile, he got us mask on, mask off, social distance, right? And I don't think people are paying attention to him. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. Is Dr. Fauci, you know how the CDC is like, we messed up? Who was the head of the CDC? Who gave all the advisories? Who was the expert? Dr. Fauci. So as soon as they announce, but they can't just fire him, like, cause if they fire him, then it's like, okay, we truly failed with COVID. So they like, man, you can mosey on out to December, but in the meantime, give us your keys though. Like you done around here. We just ain't gonna tell nobody. Get pack it up. And we're gonna talk about this a little bit later, cause I want to know, like, can you overstay your welcome? Can you be forced? Can you overstay your welcome? I want to talk about that in a minute, a little bit later on. R. Kelly case. Riis. First of all, for the girl to be 14 and now 37, that was 81. I'm sorry, Regina, 81. Still, same thing. Riis, 23 years ago, the young lady said she was assaulted. The parents, when they were caught up, the father is dead. And I don't want to talk too much smack, but yeah, he couldn't be on the stand for me. I had to be like, really, dog? What's up, Joe? Like, really? Like, all right, Dad. But I'm going to let that go. But Riis, the mom said when they asked why she did not cooperate the last time when this case happened, she said, do you know what she said?
She feared for her life.
She feared for her life. I just think the challenge with using she feared for her life, she just validated it when the cops use it. Like, a black person cannot say I feared for my life unless they shot like somebody white or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that using I feared for my life is going to turn that phrase into a mockery, in my estimation. So we're just gonna have to take a peek at that, if that makes sense. I want to keep an eye on that, but Riis, you know he finna get, like, what you think he getting for this one? They said the minimum, if he gets convicted, is 55 years. I was just thinking, like, and the crazy part is, the thing that they do that I feel like just, I'm not saying any mercy or anything, but, you know, they show him walking in the court. Every time they show the story on the news, they don't show, because it's all drawings. So when they play the clips, they show the clips of him swaggering into court with his crew and all that stuff. So it'd be like, cook him. You know what I mean? Like, every image that you see is, like, they don't show him, like, you get the one nappy head picture, but then everything else is the braids, the whole, you know, like, they playing it back from the old times when he walked in before. And it's like, hey, man, media is I'm going to start adding video to my stuff. I'm about to start adding video. Y'all going to be mad. I'm going to be like, I'm going to go find the videos from when you first got on Facebook, like people be doing me. I'm like, remember when you said this? And I'm going to look at the screen and be like, you know, my point to it. Whew. Anyway. Did you see the story about the sheriff? The sheriff that was living with a drug dealer who got caught with a kilo in his crib. Now, on 109th in California, name is Sean Dwyer. You think that's black or white? 109th in California. Ain't that Mount Greenwood? That's Beverly.
Sound Caucasian. Sean
Dwyer. No picture in the paper. Released on $15,000 bond, but the neighbors reported that he was selling drugs. What about the sheriff though? Like, they de-deputized the sheriff. She was living with him. How many let's see if there's any difference. Did we ever hear about what happened out west? Speaking of that, did we ever get a resolution of that? Dog, I wish we could turn that, you know, like, what's that show that be making all the real life crime stories real? I don't be watching it, but they need to do that one. And they need a real West Side writer. But I do want to know what happened to, I'm sorry if I reminded y'all of that story. But you remember the West Side story where they got caught with how many packets of heroin? She's like, you probably work for my auntie. I want to just compare. All I gotta say is, I do hope that Sean Dwyer is not of African descent. Is that okay to say? I think. All right, rents are going up, Riis. Shout out to my girl Micaiah. I saw her she was in the Tribune today. They were talking about rents going up, and people are saying that they can't afford to pay the rent. What's rent for a two bedroom?
About 15. Like 12. Like, it all depends on your location.
Okay. South Side, what's rent for a two bedroom?
$16.
West Side.
Probably $32. But I don't know. Like,
wait, a two bedroom out west, $3,200?
I think a 2-bedroom out west probably like. It's probably about like 14, something like that.
Okay.
Out south a little cheaper though. Like, out south cheaper, like a 2-bedroom out south, you could probably find one for like $1,000.
But where you at?
I mean, all out south the hood to me. So I don't know no place out south safe to go.
Oh, come on now. You know, it's Southwest Side is pretty straight. Like, if you go from Western, so from Western to
what?
West from 79th and Western to 112, all the way back to, let's say,
But
Cicero.
That's in Chicago, though.
That is Chicago.
Okay.
That's Southwest.
And they're like Oakland.
Nah, I'm talking about the part that's just Chicago. Because, like, it'll come up. So let's say Pulaski, right?
Okay, Pulaski.
From 79th, so from Western to Cicero.
About the Forest City area, somewhere around there.
Yeah, but a little bit south.
Okay.
A little bit, like right on the other side of Forest City. 79th on one side is Jack. The other side is like, okay. I mean, but 83rd and Kedzie, all of that, like, so, yeah, man. So all up in there, like the Black Beverly and East Beverly. And, like, there's some nice south side. It's plus Chatham, plus Pill Hill. Yeah, man. Yep. Plus, now it be surrounded by stuff. Like, what's Jackson Park? Highlands? Anyway, they saying rent is going up. Hey, man, in Old Town, they selling a 1-bedroom for $2,800, $3,000. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. The rents are. Riis, I told you I was in the West Loop the other day. I'd be like, where do these people work? Like, where do they work? Where? First day of school yesterday. How did it go? There was no strikes, although the students at Lindblom walked out. You see that? Lindblom, hey man, shout out to Lindblom, to the Eagles. I'm gonna be headed out to their cookout this weekend because I got to deliver them the School Spirit Trophy from the pandemic. So I'm gonna be coming out. So if you know anybody from Lindblom, you could reach out to them, tag them this morning. I am trying to connect. I know we're gonna get up with Freddie, but hey man, I want some food. When I come to the Lindblom picnic, I'm wearing my Raiders gear, but I want some good food, and I want to see if the Lindblom people, because like Dunbar and them, they be kicking it. I feel like Lindblom might have a bougie cookout. Like they'll probably have hors d'oeuvres instead of like ribs and chicken. But I'm coming out to y'all with Lindblom this weekend. Shout out to Freddie Crosby, I believe it is, who said, y'all bringing us our trophy or not? We're going to talk about the Lindblom walkout and Dr. Fauci. And we're going to see how I connect the dots. So we're going to talk about that. Lindblom. Did I tell y'all Lindblom people tried to break into my house during the pandemic when they won the school spirit contest? These chumps came in my crib and was hanging. They redecorated my pandemic studio. They had scarves. I was like, what is this? How did y'all get in my house? People was doing crazy stuff during the pandemic, boy. You should have seen it. That challenge, the school spirit challenge during the pandemic, man, Lindblom whooped everybody. Lindblom had over like 50,000 votes. Like, they was posting pictures. I'm going to have to go back to that because that was a crazy time. Anyway, that was when I had to do the Band-Aid show. Remember? It was crazy. Whew. All right. Let me see what else we got. They said Grant Park is a mess. Just like Soldier Field was a mess the other day, because of all the concerts and the parties that we have on our sacred grounds, and then it don't be good for the people that it was meant for. So the people who's the friends of Grant Park, or the Grant Park Advisory Council says that the park is a mess. They said, like, it's been shut down for almost 45. Band-Aids. Remember I had to do Band-Aid shows? You had to be an anniversary follower. Riis don't even know what the Band-Aid show is. He's like, I don't even know what y'all talking about. Robin Patrice, you remember them Band-Aids? That was a crazy day, right? Whew. Thank you. I appreciate them. They're Dolce & Gabbana. Although I was trying to find a black glass frame company. Who got that? All right. Finally, I don't know if y'all saw this, but the judge allowed red light cameras to resume in Oak Brook Terrace. And I know that y'all don't agree with me, but I am an advocate or a proponent of red light cameras. I would much rather have my son get a ticket in the mail than to be pulled over by the Oak Brook Terrace Police. And so, stop at the light. But I just want y'all to know that I think that the world is going to be moving more towards automation. So just be on the lookout for that. It's a lot more to talk about. Full disclosure, at one point I did lobby for red light cameras, although I do believe that they are safe. Now, not the ones in the city meant to predatorize people, but pictures. It's important, man. Anyway, long story short, declared the federal judge, a local judge gave them a stay, so we'll be watching what's going on in Oak Brook Terrace. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. This will not be a colored Band-Aid show, but I will be back after these messages with my man DJ Riis the Ruler. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest Black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? You check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around. Come all the way with me.
Good afternoon. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is 6:39 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic, sports, and weather update. As we head over to sports, the Chicago Cubs will get shut out 1-0 against the Cardinals, as the White Sox also lose 6-4 against the Kansas City Royals. Let's head over to traffic now on the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop will be 22 minutes. Outbound will be 17 on the Eatons. Inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange and back will be 28 minutes. Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 31 minutes, 28 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 46 minutes. Outbound will be 36. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 36 minutes, 28 minutes to I-80, while the Dan Ryan is 19 minutes to the Loop, 12 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, 55th to Jackson and back will be 7 minutes and 8 minutes north. That's Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 66 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 81 with a low of 64. Also in the NBA, Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman says he's heading to Russia to try to help the release of Brittney Griner. This is the Maze Jackson Show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come on the way with me. Oh, please.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. And it is about 6:30. Real quick, did y'all see that they are trying to bring shipping container homes to the south side of Chicago? I was going to skip over that, but I want to talk about that a little bit later on. Have you seen these shipping container homes? They look really fresh, except for I feel like I don't know that that's the experiment that I want out south. And they talking about these joints at $300,000. If I'm gonna pay $300,000, I don't know that I want us to. Right. And I mean, it seems like you can do a lot with them. Like, I feel like there's a lot I could see doing with them, but I just don't know that the first place I want to see these is on the south side of Chicago. They're talking about on 72nd and Vincennes, which, again, they become places. This is in Cranes, but they become places that you can actually turn into multi-level. I mean, I've seen some real cool ones. I really have. I just don't know that I want houses that look like shipping containers. If we're going to spend $300,000 bringing these in, then I'd rather see our neighborhoods. I don't want to see this be what they put in. I don't know. We got to talk about it a little bit later. We'll talk about that. I'm going to add that to the show. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. And Riis, it is about that time. I'm going to tell you I'm going to need to take a quick break shortly. But I also want to say, why don't we do this? Why don't we say what's up to everybody from WBGX 1570 AM? Right? That's right. What's up from everybody from WBGX 1570 AM? That's right. Big Gospel Express. They join us every day at 6:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. They get here every morning. We like to call them the Saints. They get here early and they leave early because we got to make room for the sinners, or those are just like an extended version of the show. They come on every day from 6 to 9, Monday through Friday, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right. That's the Maze Jackson Show. Find us on all of those platforms, streaming live, depending on how you like it. You want the raw, uncut? Join us at 6, stay till 9. If you need the miniature version, you want to just get the highlights, you want to miss a couple of the headlines, get here at 6:30, stay till 8. And you will get your fill. Now, if you decide you want to stick with us, then you just flip on over to to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. $300,000 for, I don't know, man. They trying to trick us into turning our houses. See, I feel like they get you to do it, and then they could take it. They could just drive your house away. You get evicted, man. They could take all your stuff all at once. Get off my land. Although I could see that, I would do that though? Like if I had a piece of vacation property, right? Like if I had a place like somewhere on the river or on the ocean, on the lake or something, I could see doing it there. But no, Riis, I don't know about the mobile homes. Let me see what it's, hold on. I'm about to get an alarm. So this is what we're going to do, Riis. I knew it was coming. Let's take a quick break. And we will be right back, I promise you, with the social media question of the day. This is the Maze Jackson Show. We will be right back. You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. And Riis, somewhere now, I know you got your finger on the button because I'm about ready to go ahead and hit it. So if you are ready, I am ready. Go ahead, put the finger on the trigger. Let's do it.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Who should have a monument in Chicago? That's it. That's the question. Who should have a monument in Chicago? In case you have not seen, the Monuments Advisory Committee released its report, and it said that we should not bring back the Columbus statues. And it suggested the removal of approximately 10 statues. I'm going to read to you which ones that they think should be gone. But then I want to ask you, who should get it? Who should get monuments? So Here's what the monuments that they say should be taken down and their locations. One back up. The Fort Dearborn, hold on. The Alarm. You want me to put them up? I can put them up so you can see them. But they recommended the 1, 2. There is the monument. Oh, they don't have a photo. The Dearborn Massacre, the Alarm, the Cavalier de La Salle, Signal of Peace, Bull and Indian Maiden, Fort Dearborn Massacre, the Illinois Centennial Monument, the Republic. Man, you know the Republic? You know what statue that is? The gold statue when you're driving through the park over on Stony Island off of Cornell. They said that needs to come down. The Indians and the Bowmen, the Discoverers, you know them two Indians? That be the two Indians they saying those need to come down. The Pioneers, the Defense, the Regeneration, the Damon Avenue Bridge Marquette Monument, the Columbus Monument, the Standing Lincoln, Christopher Columbus Monument, the Drake Fountain, the General John Logan Monument, the Ulysses S. Grant Monument. That's Grant Park, yo. The General Philip Henry Sheridan Monument, the Lincoln Rail Splitter, Lincoln, Seated Lincoln, Young Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Leif Erikson, Haymarket Riot Monument, the Police Memorial, Robert Morris, George Washington, Solomon Monument, the bust of Melville Fuller, Italio Balbo Monument, the Kinsey Mansion Plaque, the Indian Boundary Lines, the Marquette Campsite, Jean-Baptiste Beaubien Plaque. I had to read this one to you just because I thought this was crazy. The Jean-Baptiste Beaubien Plaque. Now y'all know that we just got the Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. Let me read this. Near this site stood Kinsey Mansion. No, hold on, I'm sorry. Jean-Baptiste Beaubien. On this site, when the Lake Shore Jean-Baptiste Beaubien, Chicago's second civilian. So they made a plaque for the second dude to ignore Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. Look, his name had the name Jean-Baptiste Beaubien. On this site, then the Lake Shore Jean-Baptiste Beaubien, Chicago's second civilian in 1817, built a mansion to which he brought his bride, Josette Lafremont. It remained their home until 1845. Now, my thing is, we was trying to get us they made a monument to the second dude, not the first one, Riis. The Chicago River Plaque, Wilderness and the Winter Scene, and the William McHenry Monument. Riis, I gotta be honest with you. It seems like a lot of the places that we know that are famous Chicago, they like take it down. They need to come down. And so they also suggested that the city should consider creating other monuments to other people in Chicago. And so my question, Riis, is if they want to take all of those down, who should we have monuments in Chicago to? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I think this is particularly timely considering the passing, and let's take a moment of silence for the passing of Harold Lucas, better known as the Bronzeville curmudgeon and historian of the Black metropolis. Let us take a moment. Recognizing who in Chicago do you think deserves a monument? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Who in Chicago do you think deserves a monument? And I guess let me say this. I don't know if it's a monument or who in Black Chicago do we need to give flowers or acknowledgement of their shaping of the history of Chicago. And part of the reason I want to do this exercise is because I do think that there are two different Chicagos, and I think we have to be able to document the people that created the way. One of the people that I would suggest needs a monument in Chicago is William Bill Dawson. One of the most powerful Black power brokers during the height of Black Chicago. I would also suggest that there needs to be a Fred Hampton, Mark Clark monument memorial that I do not believe probably would ever happen in this city. But I do believe that there should be a marker, a plaque, a statue, a something that marks not only the spot, but I feel like on the west side of Chicago, there should be a monument to Mark Clark, Fred Hampton, and the Black Panthers. I was watching a documentary, and it's interesting because some of the buildings that they had that are not being destroyed are literally places that we walk past every day. Do you realize on Madison and Western, like that's right there in the heart of where it was? Who else, what else, who else should get a monument, a plaque in Chicago? I think Oscar DePriest should have a monument, a prominent monument in Chicago. Give us a call, though, 872-259-7474. Who made Chicago history? People like Dempsey Travis, right? Like, I feel like there should be a Harold Washington monument, but a Harold Washington monument that commemorates the Black people's unity to get together to make it happen. Like, I'd love to see a monument to the meeting of the Black business metropolis, right? Of people that got together and when they was getting together, or a painting, right? And I got to point this out to y'all because yesterday I was watching Chicago Tonight. I was back to, yes, a John H. Johnson statue. But I was watching Chicago Tonight, and they were talking about an artist in residence, and they were giving all of the props to her, and this is no disrespect. And she was telling, and they were, what's Carrie Marshall James? Is that his name? They were juxtaposing this artist in residence. Did I lose my caller? They were juxtaposing this artist in residence and her history as a Haitian American, and kind of mixing it and intermingling it as part of the Black Voices Matter. And I'm not bugging out, but my point is, I feel like as we rewrite Chicago, we are going to miss history that shaped us, and we will become something different. And I feel like we need to have like art and paintings and things that commemorate the history of Black Chicago. Like, is there the Great Migration statue? Is that what the Chicken Man is in Bronzeville? But like, what commemorates our history in Chicago? Like, if you were to do the Black Monuments tour and understanding Black Chicago's role in America, as at one time, I would say the capital of AOS, Blacks. I can't say that that's the case now, because I do think we are now a very not homegrown, like that generation of direct descendants of Mississippians is now watered down. But who else gets a statue or a memorial? Like, I would love to see the Cecil Partee statue. I know it's crazy. He was the first black president of the Senate. Right? And then my question is, how does history look back on the people that shaped history? Like, does Daley get a statue? In 20 years, like, I was just thinking about, like, all these parks, like, around. Like, who needs to be acknowledged in our history as we rethink what is going on? Like, if you are going to map out Chicago and think about what is our history there, what do we need monuments to? Give us a call. 872-259-7474. I want to see some of your suggestions. Who are some of the people that you are suggesting? I see Dr. Audrey said Gwendolyn Brooks, Harold Washington. Somebody give me Six Figure Dilla. He was busy doing that other guy during the campaign. But I don't know, he was hanging out with Shrek. So, I don't know, you know, y'all know how y'all do. But anyway, John H. Johnson. Perfect example. How about Singstack from the Chicago Defender? Right? A. Philip Randolph. There's the A. Philip Randolph Museum. But do we acknowledge that the birth of the black labor movement was right here in Chicago with the Pullman Porters? Now, I don't know what... I got to be honest, I'm not exactly sure beyond the museum what it is. But what monuments to black Chicago? Vernon Jarrett. Does he get a monument? Does he get a statue? Does he get a park? What about John Stroger? I mean, he has a hospital. I ain't gonna front. But just think about, they didn't want to give him the hospital, and he was a champion of health care for all before there was, because he knew about coming from Arkansas and not having an opportunity to get it, and now you got free health care. You had it. Who are the people that made Chicago what it is for black people, and do they need to be acknowledged? Look, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to take your calls. Who deserves a monument in Chicago? It's the Mays Jackson Show. I want to know, though, what y'all think. Should either of the dailies have monuments in Chicago? We'll be back after these messages.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break. Mays Jackson.
Tune in to the Mays Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mays said. We out of here. Peace.
This is Monster Jam, the official Monster Truck Series. Witness the world's best drivers competing in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Be part of the action. Let's hear it. Make some noise. Brought to you by Great Clips. Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena September 16th through 18th.
Closer to my dreams, hey, guapole, the food tastes better. I stopped smoking squares, healing from the inside out, making repairs. I forgave some people, thanked them for the lessons, cause holding on to it was blocking my blessings. No more stressing, worry dishonors God, so I just pray, and I'm loving my odds. Mingle with like minds, gravitate where light shines. Graduate, masters, your rhymes ain't like mine. Big Dank from the west side, this is my best self. Taking vacations, hoping the rest helps. Got a career now, loving what's ahead. My spirit is free from the stuff that I shared. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk
so good now, walking on higher ground. Got out the country, visit some new towns, made some new friends, let go of some bad ones. Soon as that took place, everything got fun. My life started going up, opportunities showing up. I'm back where I wanna be, no headaches and throwing up. Reconnect with the homie, it's positive energy, vibes and wavelengths. It's all about frequency. I'm back with my first love, it feel like the first time. I'm back in the studio, this ain't my first rhyme. I wake up every day, blessed as heavenly. Before I ain't say much, now I got much to say. Raised my credit score, got rid of some past debt. Heard that's attractive, well call me a magnet. Plugged into an outlet, living life outright. All on my Kid Cudi, focusing day and night. Right? Now ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. Feel good,
See, my state gets busy. That's the cardinal rule.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. And you know, I was thinking about this, right? So, as we're doing this, I said, who needs a monument? Who in Black Chicago? So, let me go back. And, because I'm looking at some of these comments. And I want you to give me a call, 872-259-7474. But even as Black Chicago is eroded, I was thinking about, could you imagine if we had a black walking tour of Chicago? Riis, have you ever done a walking tour? So, you know what I'm talking about? Like where you put the earphones in and you go to different spots and it tells you to go and you could take your phone and hit it, and then it tells you a story of what happened right here, right? Like, I was just thinking about, should we do, like, if we had a black walking tour of Chicago, where would you put the markers? And would they be, even if it's a statue, even if it's, right here on this corner is where the Chicago Conservative Vice Lords first organized. Right? Like, if you wanted to just know, but like, who are the people, places, and things, and I'm expanding our question, in Black Chicago that we need to mark or commemorate? Like, could you imagine if you had one that said, here was once Catfish Digby's. Boom. Catfish Digby's is where Mayor Harold Washington used to be his favorite, blah, 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 blah. So that even as you drive through the city, there's some kind of way to remember what happened here. You know, Riis, do you all ever drive by the Chicago Defender building? So I got to think how crazy it was for both the Chicago Defender and the Ebony building for two black men to own property like that in the time that they did it, where they had to be slick enough to hire somebody white to buy the building for them, but they was actually the bosses. Now imagine we sold that, which we have, both of them. Now, like, I went to a party where you could smoke weed at John Senstack's old desk. Not at his desk, but in his private office. And there was a whole bunch of white people in there smoking. And I was thinking to myself, as I was telling my cousin, pass that the other way. Think about the fact that right here on this spot was the origin of the black migration, and the spot is being degraded. I don't even want to say it's being degraded. But white people are having a big old party right here on top of this spot. In this desk that I'm looking around, not the desk, I'm in this room looking around like, oh my God. And I have friends that I know that lobby for it that are telling me, man, can you help me get a liquor license in the Palm because we want to be? And I'm like, where? At what place? Oh yeah, we turned it into a banquet hall and now we need to. Wow. Think about the fact that, people watch Good Times and don't realize that that's right there. Like, you could put Good Times on for people who live in Old Town, and they would tell you that if they ain't from there, they don't know that that's where they live right now. Like, do you put a marker where Cooley High was made? I was talking about what's the Chicago is movies. Like, what of ours do we have that we need to mark? Like the Supreme Life building, right? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. What of black history in Chicago do we need to place or stick permanent markers? Who are the people, places, and things that need to be acknowledged? Riis, give me a call. We get any calls? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Call, you on the Mace Jackson Show? Who that?
Yes, good morning. This is Harold E.K.
Harold E.K. Williams, what's up, man?
Yes. Hopefully, I think Trinity United Church of Christ could be a marker of where President Obama got his motivation to run.
Where he played, which one you want? The one he got his motivation, or the one where he played Jeremiah right at? Which one?
Man, either way it goes, it needs to be documented, and it better be documented in that museum, or we're gonna have some problems.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So, Trinity United Church of Christ, where the sermon he heard from Dr. Wright, regardless of what anybody says, the audacity of hope. I think Phillips High School and DeSable High School need to be marked, because during that time, before schools was desegregated, black people were only allowed to go to those two high schools. And I think there needs to be a statue of Stroger. They call Papa Stroger or Old Man Stroger. There needs to be a statue or monument of him. And I believe that we need to protect that statue that's over there on 35th. The guy is waving. We got like a lot of footprints on him. He's basically doing a great migration. That statue needs to be protected. And we need more statues to celebrate the men and women who served in the military of African descent. We need more statues of U.S. military, and then also black folks who served in the military from overseas. Kwame Nkrumah, one of the military generals who became the first president of Haiti. That needs to be celebrated, because that kicks off a pushing to desegregate to end slavery here in the U.S. And most of all, there needs to be a statue of the founder of Chicago, John Baptiste DeSable. And they don't need to just put it over by the DeSable Museum and say, here you go. No, it needs to be downtown and decorated and celebrated as if it was any other statue. I do believe that all of the mayors don't need to have a statue, but they probably need to have a bus. just to show who they are. And there needs to be a statue in City Hall of the founder of Chicago, because you will not see that in the City Hall chambers at all, or when you're going up to the mayor's office. You don't see that. And the city, and this is just a side note, but the city insignia needs to have something giving reference to DuSable, because the city insignia does not have that at all. Hey man, I'm just a nerd. I be reading random stuff, and that's why I've been pushing Dr. Iwa to push for the whole DuSable to be changed. Make sure jobs can be changed. So that's something that I think people can get on board for. The city insignia needs to be redesigned and to mention DuSable. I know that was a lot.
Hey, man, that's
but
okay.
Hopefully, we can discuss this on Saturday.
Hey, we got a lot of stuff to discuss on Saturday. We'll be talking about that in a minute. All right,
breakfast this time?
Hey, man, you missed a good one. We depend if we got a sponsor for breakfast, but I think we probably can get a sponsor for breakfast. It's gonna be a good one. So look,
I'll make my donation.
I know you will. Don't worry, I'll be reaching out. Thank you. That's Harold E.K. Williams. All right, man. I've noticed he ain't save CVS. See, I would have put save CVS too in there. I would have made protected. Anybody else on that line? Call us. You're on the Maze Jackson Show. What should we commemorate in Black Chicago before they wipe it away? Who is it, caller?
Hallelujah, greetings. This is Mama D.
Hey, Mama D, I know this one gonna be good. Go ahead. What you got for me?
I think we need to have as a marker DuSable Museum, Rainbow Push headquarters, the E2 victims.
That's a great one. That one, man, I never thought of that. There should be a marker there. Oh, goodness. Go ahead.
Right. The building named after Metcalf should be noted. Robert Temple should be also the home of Emmett Till and the home of his mother and the home of Elijah Muhammad. And also, we need a statue of DuSable that's as big as Jack Brickhouse. It's as big as the Hillbillies. Are they the Beverly Hillbillies? Who are those two great big people?
I know they took that. They took that out. I think they took that one out. I think they rotate that one, but I know exactly what you're talking about over there by the Wrigley Building.
Right. And sites like that. And there should be a star added to the Chicago, a fairness star added to that flag in honor of Mayor Harold Washington.
Ooh. Go ahead, Mama D. I feel you.
I
see you. Go ahead.
And in conclusion, I don't think that anybody should have bread and beverage in an air-conditioned room that used to be a slave headquarters, because when you see that Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's little log cabin, you don't see air conditioning. You see a reenactment of what it was. And when you go to one of those dungeons in Ghana, you see a reenactment. And all the sites, including there's one on Archer Avenue that was a slave underground place, even after slavery ended, and the places in Illinois, all those slave-related sites should be noted. And a marker for Harold Lucas in Bronzeville, or some kind of street naming or honorable mention for him, because whatever killed his body, he died of a broken heart when they took his roots away. So thank you.
Man, I gotta tell you, man, y'all came up with that was a great list. Man, so I was just thinking, and Freud, you on here talking about Invest Southwest and we don't see nothing. How about we get some of that Invest Southwest money and do just fund the Chicago Black Walking Tour? Like, I'm going to start a post today on my page, and I think we should, think about the grant. And here's the other thing. I don't know that we need to ask the city to fund it. Like, is there a way for us to create like a monument, like of our own selves. That y'all know how many kids' parents move or leave, but when your parents left, my parents would take us to where they used to live when they were kids. They would always drive by it. Like I still, when I go on the south, when I'm out south, I still drive by 514 East 62nd Street. Like I drive by it because I'd be like, that's my house. Like one day if I was somebody that counted, you know, I would want it to be like 514 East 62nd Street is where Mason Jackson lived in the city of Chicago for the first 8 years of his life. Until then, and then you go to you know what I'm saying? But I feel like we could put our own, like here's where Quincy Jones lived, right? All of the people, here's where Lou Rawls lived. And let me not be like I'm brand new with this, because Dorothy Tillman, Harold Lucas, all of them tried to create this, even by trying to, as Ruthie says, control our narrative when they created the Blues District and Tobacco Road. But we kind of overeducated ourselves out of it. And so even when it's so crazy because when you drive down like 47th and you see, like I can actually see Dorothy Tillman's vision of like trying to have like, because when you go to white neighborhoods and they like historic areas, they got like the signs and the banners and you look around and you expect to spend money and all of that stuff. And we don't really see the value in our stuff. We like, man, that's King Drive. Man. And then you go to places like Pilsen. Have you ever been to Thalia Hall? You ever seen it? So it's like these, like we have like real theaters in our neighborhoods and that have gone just like what's that place over there, the Regal? Like are these, and white folks have gone into these neighborhoods and restored them. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have a white person go into Bronzeville and go in and like when they start moving all the way in, and they're going to take all of your old history and fix it up and then sell it back to you. Right? Let's think about us doing our own thing. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. What should we be commemorating of Black Chicago? Call you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Maze.
James.
How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How you doing this morning? I don't know if you took a look at some of my posts I threw up. I think Jackie Taylor, she should have a monument for the Black Ensemble Museum, and she also was a cast member of
Cooley High. I saw that the other day in the credits. I was like, dang, yes, that's dope. I think that's what made her get started in this.
Yes, exactly. Also, I said I think Don Cornelius should have at least a plaque or a monument in front of Channel 26.
Just think about that. Every time I walk in there, I be thinking like, dang, this is where Soul Train was. And that's right on 26 North Halsted. And we just drive right by it. But I mean, I don't even know if we still remember Soul Train like that. We do, but do the people care?
Yeah. Also, who else did I mention? I think I mentioned, but everybody already said John H. Johnson. Honestly, I think they should have kept the Magic Kiss sign as a historical monument to Chicago, because that was a big, almost like a tourist attraction to see those big lips up there off the damn right.
They probably would cancel them now, dog. They probably be like, that is racial. It's racial. But the Magic Kiss, I'm going to tell you what. The Magic Kiss signs were so iconic to me. Coming from Bolingbrook, that's when I knew I was like on the south side and we was about to get to my grandmama's house on Constance. Because that and then the Jewel Grand Bazaar. I remember those two big things. When you got to that was the city. Right, but those are good ones. I feel like the Magic Kiss sign, they should have it somewhere in the city. Like, we need I ain't going to say we need a Black History Museum because we have one. But I do want to know what are the other things. What else you got on that list, James? I think you got some good ones.
I think we would be better off getting away with an app So like if you have the app on and you go by like the street in Chicago, it'll pop up and you have the app up and it'll say at this address at such and such South 10, this is where such and such stayed at from 1972 to 1983. At that time, this was going on with the black community. Blah blah blah. And they go into a narrative.
Geofence it. Like you put it on the app and then it's a geofence and you come within like a block of it. Then it says right. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe I'll get $6 Dilla to get on that.
Yeah, and have a little plaque in the sidewalk in front of the house, showing, like a little, maybe a 4x4 plaque or a 6x6 inch little like copper or brass plaque. You know how they put them on front of the monument, the statues to tell you who it is. Put that in front of the house.
And you know what you do? You slap a QR code on
the
it.
house.
You slap a QR code on it. You hit the QR code, and it tells you a video story. Right, like you can go look at it as you walking, etc. Then you could create some. That's a good one, man. We should do like the
like the first Hell's Chicken. Where's the first Hell's Chicken? Where was the first Hell's Chicken at?
Man, you could do the Hell's Chicken
nationwide now.
Oh, and you can make it rank them. You could rank the best Harold chickens, and you could vote. Oh, that man, I'm telling you, we could. This is something we should be on. I'm gonna tell you, James. Good ideas, man. Good people. I appreciate you, dog. Thank you for calling.
All right, talk to you later, bro.
All right, who else we got? Is that it? All right, Carly, on the Mays Jackson Show. What Black Chicago should we be commemorating? What's up?
Good morning, Mays.
Hey,
Cecilia
Katie.
Butler here.
Oh, wait, who is this?
No.
Oh, Cecilia Butler. Hey, Miss Butler, how you doing? Washington Park.
I'm doing.
Let's go. Talk to me.
Dr. Margaret Burroughs.
Oh, yeah. She got a beach.
Oh yeah. Well, she's got a beach, but she doesn't have a monument where she lived. In the 3800 block of Michigan.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, her house should be identified, and across the street we have the I can't think of the name. It's the Arts Center. The Art Center.
Oh, right. Yep.
Right, which she helped found. You know, so we should do as much celebration in the honor of Dr. Burroughs. Do Saba Museum, Dr. Burroughs, as much as possible. Yes, the beach does count.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss Butler. I appreciate you. All right. That is Miss Cecilia Butler. Now, you know she holds down the Washington Park area, so she knows what she's talking about. Look, man, I think we got so many of our icons. I was thinking about Harold Lucas and how Mr. Lucas and I didn't always see eye to eye. But you cannot front on his knowledge and understanding of the city of Chicago. And I think, man, some of y'all, how they was 38, who just told us the 3800 block, like Miss Butler did, and who knew where Nat King Cole lived, and shit, these houses are going to be getting torn down. Should there be a plaque in the cement, in the concrete? I just feel like there's so much Chicago history. And I was thinking about this Monuments Committee. Then I was looking at the people who were on the Monuments Committee. And I was thinking to myself, how many of them are really going to care about Black history? I want to, you know what I'm saying? A straight up Black history focus. Riis, I don't even think that we could get a monument to Fred Hampton, though. Do you think we could get Black people to support? You think we could get the elected officials to support? I'd be curious to know if we get ask the mayor. Would you support a monument to Fred Hampton? To Fred Hampton and Mark Clark.
I'm sure they say yeah.
No, she wouldn't. You crazy?
They can't say no.
Yes, they can.
No. You don't want to say no to that.
Yes, she would.
No.
I think that's a question y'all need to put out in the universe. I bet y'all would be surprised at the answers that you get. You would be tremendously surprised at the answers that you get. Did we take a break at 7 o'clock? All right. So let me just say. All right. Let me see who else we got. I think, should we get where should the Barack Obama statue go? Should he get the biggest one? Because ain't he the biggest person out of Chicago? He's not from Chicago. Reese, should Barack Obama get a Chicago statue?
Of course.
Where should it go?
Probably downtown.
Should it be bigger than DuSable's?
Probably.
Really?
Probably. It's the first black president. Come on, man. As a kid growing up, I remember everybody saying that we'd never have a black president, and we did. So
I'm still trying to. We had an African American president.
He was black. That's the one drop rule.
There's one drop from, but he was his drop ain't come from. You know, his drop was from Kenya, and his one drop was from Kenya.
Still black. Still ADOS. Still got
he not ADOS. He not ADOS. He is not ADOS.
Where you from?
He is not an American descendant of slavery. His daddy was from Kenya, direct.
Okay.
His mama was white. He ain't got no lineage to slavery. None.
His cousins or something.
No, his cousin. His daddy, his cousin ain't got no direct. He ain't got no. Look, to make a baby, you need a sperm and an egg, right? The sperm came from Kenya. The egg came from Iowa. Neither of those had slavery connected to them. Just saying.
That's right. He's still
See
black.
how y'all be the miseducation of the black people.
Still black.
Yeah, that's exactly what they say to him.
Still, he get pulled over.
He right, but he still be like, but I'm not one of those blacks. I'm just telling you. You've been seeing them videos. All right, I'm gonna stop. This is let me see who else y'all put up in here. The Barack Obama statue. Let me see who else y'all got. The people. Oh, do we need a people of color statue? How about? Yeah, Reese, you lost. Everybody know this except for you. How long you been on this show, man? Lorraine Hansberry, that's a good one. The Southside Community Arts Center, Mavis Staples and the Staples Singers. Yep. The founder of the Defender, I said that one. We got the Southside. Really hard to get the names of the park. Yep. Nat King Cole, Lou Rawls. Harold's Chicken. We should do one for Purvis Spam. How about Herb Kent, the Cool Jet? Reese, that's my alarm, which means I got to take another break. We'll be right back after these messages. It is the Mays Jackson Show.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break. And now, traffic and weather.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And now you're shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. All you visit. And did you have to pay this fine that you've been dodging all the time?
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think if I was to think what you're doing, in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, babe? You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. We were just talking about who deserves a statue. Salim says again, the Muhammad Speaks building, 26 South Federal, the first WVON studio, the Shack at 31st and Kedzie. Man, I remember that one. I remember being in there and a mouse was crawling on the wall. But we thought we was the bomb because that was the first place that we got to broadcast. We had our rappers over there. We tried to make WVON have a rap station at the nighttime. On Sunday nights, we had a hip-hop show. I don't know if you remember Veronica Taylor, who is a listener on here now. Latrice Spann. Man, it was just, we was trying to make it go, dog. We was doing our thing back in the day. I don't know how to tell you, man. All right. I would tell you some of the places that we would need to mark include over on Weed Street, places like the Dragon Room. Did you ever go to the Dragon Room, Riis? Like the Dragon Room, the first place where Kanye ever performed in a club, right? Man, in Chicago, when they was Let My Niggas In was the song, right? And it was him, GLC, and Mickey Halstead, right? They was all a group, and they had a girl named Christina, right? And the places that, like the old original No Pity studios where the first Sprite mixtape was recorded, or where were all the studios, like, you know, what's my studios right over here on, like, Pivot Point and Slang Music Studios where things were happening, right? You could even probably tag the old your boy. Man, the Fort. Whew. You know, see? Riis, you don't even know about the Fort, man. They used to close the door. That's where the El Rukins kicked it. Like, you should have the spot where where everybody was founded. Like, I'd be like, right here's on the spot. I was just looking at a picture the other day, and they was showing the CVLs was in the Bud Billiken parade. They had a float. Why you look like that?
What did it say?
Conservative vice lords.
Nah, you gotta post that tomorrow.
Conservative vice lords. They were on a float.
You gotta post that tomorrow.
I gotta go back and yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I need to see that with my own eyes.
Riis, did you know there's a Vice Lord movie?
I could believe that.
I'm talking about a movie about the conservative Vice Lords, and it was like a TV show, like a special, and it was like how they was growing grass in neighborhoods where there was no grass. Bro, then they took them to school. They went to college. There's a whole thing about how the Vice Lords went to college and went to places like Dartmouth. I'm telling you. You have no clue. You have no clue. And you say, what happened? Like, I think you should have a place where this is where Willie Lloyd was.
Not as a monument.
Not as but a marker. Like a thing. Like you could I feel like I want to know about the policy kings. Like, if they can make Al Capone a superstar, look, bro, they sold Al Capone's gun for like $1 million.
True.
Why is they gangsters different than our gangsters?
You could probably sell a Larry Hoover gun for $500,000.
No, you couldn't.
If they knew.
Who buying it?
Somebody buying it for $500,000.
Jay Prince.
Elon Musk gonna buy it for.
No, Elon Musk don't care about. He don't want you to have no. He don't want that. No, just to own your history. Ken Griffin to buy it just to be like, I got y'all. I own y'all warrior chief gun. It's like having a scalp. You can't do that. You can't do that. Anyway, all things we should have like the nation's history. I want to know, Salim, was the nation bigger in Chicago or New York? I'm curious. Because I know like Malcolm X was in New York, but ain't this the... Johnny, somebody got the checkerboard. I think a white guy already bought that one and put a monument. He reopened it. Anyway, let me stop because I want to move on to some very important things that I think are important too. But we're going to continue this conversation. Y'all keep on putting them up. But save this for my post because I'm going to ask you, if we did a walking tour of Chicago on my page, what are the things and the people, places, and things that should be memorialized in Chicago? All right, let's move on. Good, bad, and the ugly. Like, think about this. They still know where the St. Valentine's Massacre, they know where that is. People go to see that. They got a mob tour. Think about that. They got a tour bus of people that drive around to go see the places where all the gangster stuff happened for white folks. And half of them be driving through our neighborhoods. I'm just saying. Why is Al Capone a better gangster than Willie Lloyd? I'm just asking. If you made a movie, boy, I'm just telling you. Look, I don't want no problems. I am just saying, though, their gangsters are like glorified. Right? Our gangsters always appear to be street hoods. They ran organizations. Think about it. Who, if I say Al Capone, Biggie, if I say any white gangster, you be like, okay. You say black gangster, you think somebody with a jacket on, with his sleeves off, smoking a cigarette, standing on a corner. You don't think about no multi-million-dollar empire runner. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. I would though. Would you go see, like, if I could go, if just like there's a mob tour, I promise you I would I would go see a Chicago, like the history of Chicago black gangster, not the organization, but black organized crime, right? Like when they had catfish joints, like when they had strings of restaurants. This was I would love to take that tour. All right. Let's move on. Riis, I don't know if y'all know, but I have come to the question, do black people have the ability to get out of our own way? This mayor's race is getting hairier and hairier by the day. And I think if we're not careful, the black vote, which is the deciding vote, would actually be watered down to becoming a non-factor. So we currently, let me think about this. Let me get me some see if I got this. We currently have all right, so right now, in the mayor's race, oh, no, that ain't what I'm trying to do. We have Willie Wilson, right? We have Mayor Lori Lightfoot. We have Cam Buckner. We have Sophia King. We have Rod Sawyer. Did I say Jamal Green? Jamal Green in the race. Yesterday, CTU President Stacey Davis Gates announced that she will not be running for mayor of Chicago, but did say or allude to the fact that there would be someone else. That someone else appears to be Brandon Johnson. Adding another black person to the mix. Riis, I feel like black people are not going to be able to get out of our own way. And I don't know how this thing breaks down, but what I do feel like is if we don't get out of our own way, we are going to definitely not have a black mayor. Now, I got to figure out if the black mayor is even a factor for us. So I want to give you, because J-Mal always says that we don't do math on the show. So I'm gonna give you J-Mal Green's direct math from him, his process, because I just want to make sure I'm being fair. So he says, y'all got to do math on the show. Progressive white people vote black. And the first time voters, 30 to 35K, went into Amara plays a factor. The only core white voters are on the northwest side, Bridgeport and Mount Greenwood. So the question becomes, if it is Paul Vallis, who beats him because he can't win a runoff against anyone but Willie? I'll need to consult for y'all show. The old style of politics ain't today. That's J-Mal Green. I'm just reading because he got upset with my last analysis. And I want to make sure, as I told y'all, I'm trying to make sure everybody has a fair opportunity to make sure that they're being heard. But I really see the mayor's race right now to get, the mayor's race right now is who makes it to the runoff. And I got to say right now, if it's me, the two top black vote getters are going to be Lori and Willie. Yes or no? Right now, to me, Lori and Willie are the two front runners. Now, I'll be waiting to see what all of the other candidates get in. I also think that this is currently. Which to me breaks down into a race of Generation X and Y versus the boomers. I.e., Willie Wilson gets the baby boomers. Lori Lightfoot gets Gen X and Y. I don't think that the youth vote is really as much of a factor yet as people think. Now, when you look at what happened, do you realize that in the county, in the last, hold on, I'm sorry. Citywide turnout, Riis, by age group, 18 to 24-year-olds, only 10,760 came out. Right? Let's say that the youth vote, can we call the youth vote 18 to 34? Is that a fair range? 18 is when you can first vote to 34 is your numbers. Up 18 to 24, 10,760 voters came out in the city. 25 to 34-year-olds, only 39,854. So 39, let's say 11 plus 40. So there's only 50,000 voters that turned out in the last election cycle between 18 and 24. Now let me jump to the next group. 35 to 44, 41,000. Right? That's Gen X and Y. 45 to 54, 42,000. So if you look at my demographic, 35 to 54, it almost doubles what you all did. Now you add in the 55 to 64, that's 58,000. That's the boomers, right? So right now the boomers are in the lead of over. So the millennials and Gen Z, they're 40,000 total. Gen X and Y is a little bit over 80,000. Now, this is just this last election. Now, 55 to 74, Riis, that is 110,000. Now at 75 plus, that 110 goes to 150,000. So right now, Gen X and Y is Gen X and Y with 80,000 votes. This is just this last election. Versus the boomers. This is actual voter turnout. Gen X and Y equal about 85,000. Let's just call it rounded up to 85,000. The boomers, 150,000. So now that's all citywide. That's black, white, Asian, and Latino. Now divide that by 3, right? So if you divide that by 3, because the city is 33, 50,000 blacks versus, what's 80 divided by 3 is 25, 26. So you got 80,000 boomers versus 50,000 versus 27,000. 26,000, 26,500. As compared to 1/3 of what y'all had 40, 1/3 of 40? What's that? 9? 9 times 4 is 36? 9,000. So now, Riis, what you're going to look at in this voter turnout in this race is, in the black community, I'll concede the millennial Gen Z vote. I'm gonna concede that. I'm gonna just say, let's just put that to the side. It's not insignificant. It can be a game changer. But right now, the fight is for that big chunk of the pie in the black community, and it's between Lori, who takes my age group, right? And Willie, who takes the seniors and the boomers. Now, what you got to ask yourself is, so if you look at that, right now, in my estimation, Willie Wilson is leading in the black community. Just by sheer numbers. And if you look at where all of the other black candidates come from, if you look at Cam, where's Cam taking votes from? He's not going to take votes from Willie. He's going to cut into the young Generation X and down. X and Y, my group. If you look at Rod Sawyer's going to take votes not from, he may get a few small senior votes because of his dad, but where's his vote base going to come from? His voter base is going to come from from the Gen X, Gen Y group again. So now you're looking at the Gen X, Gen Y group being split. And Riis, seniors and boomers will give Willie Wilson his space. You know who's not? The college-educated black who feel like, man, I know I got grandparents and family, but I don't want him to, they feel better than that. So now when you start to break this math down, you got to say, it's really where does Sophia King come in? Sophia King has to diverge. So again, if she's going to take black votes, where's she going to get them? From my group. So as the Gen X and Y keeps getting sliced, Willie Wilson's base stays solid. But then you got to take that same math and you got to say, what will white people do? Because right now we're looking at the fight in between the black folks, right? The battle for us is to get out, and what will the Latinos do? Do you see Latinos voting for Willie Wilson? Do you see white folks voting for Willie Wilson? They'll take his gas. But all one needs to do is go back and look at the turnout in the last election and see how the vote splits. So now my question is, will black people get in our own way? Hope you're talking about college students. I'm talking about college graduates. I'm talking about, so you're talking like, and I'm not saying what you're talking about, but I'm saying the college students are that 40,000 millennial group, that 40,000 millennial group, right? They fall into that space. Those are the ones that we always spend all the time trying to go, we got to turn out the youth vote, we got to turn out. 18 to 24, only 10,000 voted in the whole city. So I'm not for spending too much time there, right? I feel like you have a program and you just want to cut that. So now the question becomes, so Riis, now we got to look at what happens if CTU enters the race, right? Now you got to ask yourself, where does CTU play? Because CTU, now, and then let's back up. So now you look at Willie and Lori. Willie Wilson has built an organization apparatus, whether you like it or not, over the last 8 to 12 years. What is the Lori Lightfoot organization? Lori Lightfoot is counting on wards, townships, and committeemen, not wards, ward bosses politically to carry her through. But Riis, what we saw in the last election is that the committeemen politically don't really tell their voters what to do. They try to predict where their voters are going to go and be with them. We saw that because we saw all of the people that were supporting each candidate weren't able to break through or change their voters. So now you got to say to yourself, if I'm a betting man and I'm looking at it, let's back up. Do we believe that the mayor can reclaim white voters? I would say probably not. And I think if you look at the mayor's fundraising emails, she recognizes that the person she has to beat is the multi-millionaire candidate. Right? And who is that? Willie Wilson. So now, enter CTU. CTU, many people thought Stacey Davis Gates was going to run. Yesterday at the City Club, she announced that it would not be her, and all allusions went to the fact that it could be potentially Brandon Johnson. So now I got to look around and I got to say to myself, how does this work? Does Brandon Johnson have a chance? Then you say, well, what are the factors to winning an election? And I want to remind you that this election is in February. Money? Will he have money? I think CTU might be one of the most resourced organizations out there. They got 25,000 members. They have a political action committee. Can he get the signatures? Does he have an organization? I would say that CTU purports to have an organization, although that organization was not able to get Chewy Garcia nor Tony Preckwinkle after spending millions for both over the hump. So then I say, what are our choices? So then I say, who has the best chance to win? And I think it's something that we got to start having a conversation about. I think there's a lot of voters who will vote for Willie Wilson, Dr. Willie Wilson. But I also think if you've come to our meetings, I say that when you start talking to our audience, we start all the way to the left. So we will take a candidate, and I'm not tripping. We will say, hey, why can't we forgive? Because we want that same grace and mercy. I don't think when you leave our community, that same grace and mercy happens. And I also think that within that realm, Black people are harder on ourselves. And I think that if you look at the information that I gave you, that says blacks from ages 35 to 54, which is 80,000, that group being the swing voter, I gotta say, Riis, that college-educated, non-extra black group, in my estimation, will not give Dr. Wilson the grace that he needs. Now, the question becomes, if that be the case, and I think we've seen it in Sophia King, are there black candidates that can play outside of the black community? Right? Because let me say this. First of all, let me ask a question. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Will white people vote for Dr. Wilson? Will white people vote for Dr. Wilson? Will Latinos vote for Dr. Wilson? I want y'all to be honest with me. Because I think we got to start looking at this whole thing, because I think the way this goes, they're going to keep us cut. And so then you have to say, if you know that, because none of these people are going to get out. So then you got to say, you got to be playing to say who can make it through the runoff. So the first question I want to ask you is, will white people vote? Will whites and Latinos vote for any of our candidates? In a runoff, who are the candidates that the white people would consider voting for against a white candidate? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Official Monster Truck Series. Witness the world's best drivers competing in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. the action.
Let's hear it. Make some noise.
Brought to you by Great Clips. Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena September 16th through 18th.
Mays Jackson.
Tune in to the Mays Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mays said. We out of here. Peace.
You didn't do you carry the weight for love, kept it moving, ain't never look back. 'Cause that's the bigger picture of being a victim. No, things get hard, you gotta be strong, I've been right there with you. So live your whole truth and be your whole you. Yeah, they can talk behind your back, but they can't hold you. Keep my trauma, all my feelings in a bottle. Take a shot, no drama, just want you to know what I know. It don't last forever, promise it gets better. You've been through the biggest storm, but you can change the weather. Been under pressure, you know my name. Whenever the heat comes, I put out the flame. It made me a diamond, it made me a diamond. It made me a diamond. You know my name. Smoke a pushing on the gas. Hey, I've been moving in a fast lane. Don't be looking in the past, 'cause when you're looking, you get past. Don't get it twisted, I ain't forget. You know I've been through a whole bunch of this shit, 'cause I put a line on that clock, 'cause I'm fit. Can't nobody question I'm a fit. I've been on the move, 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 move. Move, make it do what it do, 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 do. Ain't got nothing to prove, prove, prove. Redefining the cool, 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 hey. I don't keep my trauma, all my feelings in a bottle. Take a shot, no drama, just want you to know what I know. It don't last forever, promise it gets better. You've been through the biggest storm, but you can change the weather. Been under pressure, you know my name. Whenever the heat comes, I put out the flame. It made me a diamond. It made me a diamond. It made me a diamond. You know my name. Sparkle, sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle. Focus on your mission and get to your bag. Get to your bag. And do the mission you got. And they see you get your haters get mad. Focus on your mission and get to your bag. Get to your bag. Push your mission you got.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said. Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar. so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood that just DNA gets built on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. So I'm talking about the mayor's race. I'm going to talk a little bit about the massive voter disenfranchisement. The massive disenfranchisement of voters in Chicago, and then some of the sneak stuff that happened in the primaries. That I feel like, whoa! I was just looking at it like, wowzers. Did you know? And then I'm gonna go back to our question. But did you know that the Chicago Board of Elections is proposing cutting the number of precincts and polling places by 40%? 40%. Riis, it's funny because if this was to have happened in the South, we would be screaming bloody murder, talking about the Republicans are trying to disenfranchise black voters, giving them less places to vote and making their wait times longer and trying to confuse the voter process. But here in Illinois, we just call it politics. It's so crazy. I'm going to talk about this because they are literally reducing the number of precincts and polling places by 40%. It's like they're cutting access to voting. But in the meantime, which I think I'm going to tell you why I think this is a big deal, though, for somebody like Willie Wilson. Is because Willie Wilson, as I've showed you, is going to depend on voters 55 plus. And Riis, what happens if you 55 plus, you've been going the same place for the last 20 years and you go there and it ain't there? You going home.
That's how you ain't voting today.
Right. And it's important to note that as the mayor recognizes how important the senior vote is to Willie Wilson, she will probably be taking every effort possible to decrease the opportunities for black seniors to vote. But I know y'all don't want to talk about that. But the fact that the Board of Election Commissioners in this climate, as we talk about Donald Trump, is reducing the access to voting options, especially among the highest voting populations, I think it's something that we need to be paying attention to. And I put nothing past Chicagoans. But in the meantime, will white people vote for Willie Wilson? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Riis, anybody on the live line? Caller. Will white people
Hey, what's
vote?
happening, man?
What up? Who this, Anthony?
is Lawanza Quinn. What's poppin'?
What's up, Lawanza? How you feeling, brother? All right. Talk to me. So will white people vote for Willie Wilson?
You know, some of them will tend to lean to him, but
how many is some?
There's a conservative base. There's a conservative base that's strongly entrenched, and they're that way because they want to have all the spoils. They have no intention, no matter what, of being equitable and fair with black folks. You know, they're well entrenched and they're not going to change.
That's crazy, man. So who are the white folks voting for in this election then? Because it's only two white candidates.
Whoever they get up there, whoever they put up there, man, they'll put Superman, Captain America, at least the Hulk, whatever, the latest action figure, political figure is for them. They'll have them up there.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's a good point of view. That is Lawanza Quinn's. Man, I gotta ask you, will white people vote for Willie Wilson? If not, then is Sophia King wrong? Is there a black person in the race that white people would vote for? Because whoever it is going to need to build a coalition. Caller, you're on the Mace Jackson Show.
Yo, what's up, bro? What's up, Riis? What's going on, man? What's happening, family?
What's up, Devo? How you feeling? And are the white people going to vote for Willie Wilson? If not, who will? Because the black vote is diced and sliced.
Yes. The black vote is diced and sliced. And I'm gonna tell, I got a bachelor's and a master's degree, so I'm a pretty smart guy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm black first. So I don't think the college educated black people in my age demographic, I don't think they trust Willie Wilson. And that's the dang on problem. They don't trust Willie Wilson because everything that Dr. Wilson, everything that Dr. Wilson represents is a lot of the shortcomings that they have internalized. He worked at McDonald's. He worked his way up. He picked he's from the South. They don't like that, bro. They don't like that. So they think that they better than dudes. But my thing is this. The same other college educated people in your demographic, they have backdoored you every time. When you talk about Grace, when he supported the mayor and she turned against his own people, he supported her. So leaders lead. I always say leaders lead because I like people to get in front of stuff. You may not agree with it, but when people get in front of stuff and they stand with conviction and valor, I gotta respect that because I'm a warrior, bro. I'm a warrior, dog. I'm a good soldier. You feel me? So they don't like that. But when he stood up there and supported her and said, hey, y'all need to support this sister, and she turned around and, hey, man, I don't know, dude. I ain't taking this phone calls. You got to look at stuff like that, regardless of how the person comes off. Because we know we don't need a perfect black candidate. We need a lion right now that is going to stand up for these communities. I bet if you ask Dr. Wilson, hey, what is your plan to bring professional black families back to Chicago? I bet you he got an answer. He's the only one that really is like us. Everybody else ain't like us. So the white people will vote for him because I bet you they feel like they can trust him. Everybody else they can't trust. But y'all don't want to build coalitions. Y'all just want to pick and shoot at the people that look like you, and then when you don't have no more warriors left, then you run back to them same people that done slaughtered your warriors. And that's what y'all gonna do, because y'all scary and y'all don't trust black people. Y'all come holler at me at Obsidian, and let's get this think tank together. Because I know y'all scary, and y'all won't show up, and y'all don't show up. And we even offer y'all free brunch, and y'all still don't show up. Y'all don't want to come through and holler at these lions. These women in this group will tear y'all up. Y'all don't want that smoke? I'm out, bro.
That is Devil Gordine. I gotta say I disagree with him though. I think white folks are going to be white folks. And at the end of the day, I don't know how many times we got to understand we are still OJ. Like, like that part, it's like, I feel like people take pride in being like, I'm with you till I'm not. And then they can always rationalize it. I think that the same challenge that Willie Wilson has with black folks, he has with white folks. Except black folks won't be honest about it. So now my question becomes, who do we believe that Willie Wilson will triumph in this race? I mean, I gotta tell you, all one need do is go look at the commentary when Willie Wilson gave away gas and it inconvenienced people on the way to work. And if you can't see it there, then you gotta understand. So that's us. I don't know that. I feel like Willie Wilson has the votes to get out of the primary. Like, if you break that math down, I say if the vote stayed that way, he could get out of the primary. But I guess my question becomes, can he make it to the general? And I think we've seen this thing play out. This is what happened to Todd and Tony Preckwinkle, right? We all, like, these things wind up happening and we find ourselves, and white folks done pick them a black person. And then we get a black person that white folks got that we ain't got. Look at Lori, Mayor Lightfoot, right? And they put us between a rock and a hard place. And I think so anyway, it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch. I don't know if you all saw this story in the paper, but did you know that one of the largest, most massive voter disenfranchisement programs in history is happening in Chicago right now? What would you say? And I think it has to correlate to this, because timing is everything. Riis, who did I tell you that that Willie Wilson will be most reliant upon to get to the runoff? Black seniors, right? If we look at the voter turnout right now, Willie Wilson needs black seniors. It is not lost on me that at the same time that he is needing black seniors, the city of Chicago is going to cut the number of precincts by 40%. For perspective, there are currently 2,069 precincts in Chicago. Let me say that again. There are currently 2,069 precincts in Chicago. They are cutting that number to 1,290. What does that mean? It means that almost 50% of the people that have been voting over this time period will show up to a place to vote that no longer exists. Hey, Riis, did you know that there were polling places in senior buildings, in very large senior buildings, so that the seniors could vote there? Imagine a public housing senior building that say has 600 or 700, let's say 300 or 400 votes. And they didn't even have to get dressed. They could go downstairs to their lobby and vote. Guess what, Riis? That's gone. It's interesting that I was thinking about this. Did you see, like, during the election cycle last time, during this last go round, when Willie Wilson was giving out money in those senior buildings? I think you saw that, right? And he was very specific about going to senior buildings. Why? Because those senior buildings were his most likely voters. What did I just show you? Right? I just told you that everybody 55 and up is the most votes come out of that community. And if you have a captive audience, i.e. they don't have to leave the building to vote, guess what, Riis? And you know they coming out, it's almost like fishing in a barrel. But if you are Mayor Lori Lightfoot and you know that if those people come downstairs, they're going to vote for Willie Wilson, what do you want to happen, Riis? You want to ensure that they can't come downstairs and vote. You want to make sure that they can't come in their house coat or in their wheelchair, that they got to get dressed, they got to go 3 or 4 blocks. And they say we're centralizing it because now most people, right? Most people vote by mail. But who is least likely to trust the mail? Black senior citizens, because how many stories have we read or seen in the newspaper where they can't get mail delivery and they asking for their people? So when you see that the Chicago Board of Elections is about to cut the number of polling places in half, you have to say, if this happened in Republican Mississippi or Georgia, we would be screaming bloody murder about the lack of access to voters, to polls. If I told you that in Georgia or in Alabama, they cut 50% of the polling places at the highest turnout location in the state for black people, what would you say? You would be screaming bloody murder racism. No? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Can Willie Wilson get white votes? And here's what they doing now. Riis, what is happening, and it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me that the people that will be most severely impacted are black voters. Riis, did you see in this story, and I got to tell y'all, this really, I feel like there was a whole bunch of shenanigans going on in this last election cycle, and now I'm starting to feel like it was verified. Riis, did you know in the last election cycle, 73 polling places did not open? 73 locations where people were supposed to go, where they were sent mail that told them they were supposed to go because the Board of Elections couldn't find staff. They didn't open them. What happened to those votes? They said those votes, you know how many votes they said that accounted for, Riis? 59,000. So let's say 59,000 people went to go vote. And you were in an election that you were short by 30 in the city of Chicago. I ain't going to go down this path, but I got to help y'all understand this is Illinois. Do you think nobody knew? Did you know that they cut in the suburban elections 10% of all the precincts? They voted, they passed it, and nobody said a word. So imagine if you didn't even know that 10%, and then you start to say, well, turnout just fell off. No, turnout didn't just fall out. You moved it. You changed the date, and then you moved the locations. So 4 out of 10 people will go show up to vote only to find out that there is no polling place that they've been voting in the last 20 years. Now, Riis, and there's nobody to tell them where to go vote. And if you've missed your vote by mail ballot, well, guess what? And Riis, who does that hurt the most? That hurts people who know where their voters are. If you are a black elected official and now they are telling you that your senior homes are no longer, 50% of your precincts are gone because guess what? They don't have precinct captains. Remember, I told you back in the day you wanted all those polling places because you wanted to stretch out your precinct captains because you had resources. But, Riis, it also meant that you got services by your precinct. So now imagine a precinct. If you want to go out and work a precinct, Riis, now I have to give you a piece of paper, not with 500 names on it, but guess how many? 1,200. So you go from 500 to 800 in a precinct to 1,200. With nobody telling the people, the other new 600, that the polling place has moved. And guess what I'm going to do, Riis? I'm going to put the polling place, if it's in a black neighborhood, in a place where black seniors don't want to go. Now, is it coincidence that this is happening when when we're going to rely on the senior vote? When seniors are going to turn out and we know they did it last time and they're going to do it again? How far will the board go to stop or to suppress black vote? Y'all, if I told you, I just really want you to think about this. If I told you that a county in Mississippi was cutting access to voters' access to polling places by 40%, you would swear we are part of a voter disenfranchisement. We would be talking about Bull Connor. We would be talking about the Edmund Pettus Bridge. We would be talking about black people died for the right to vote. But here in Cook County, led by black people, you are cutting 50% of all the places that our people go vote. 40, I'm sorry. Riis, remember I told you they were complicit in our demise? And it is not lost on me that it's a new clerk and they're doing this with a black clerk. And who used to run all this before? David Orr. White liberals are not simple. Do y'all see in the most democratic, the blackest county in this country, they are cutting 40% of the places you can go vote. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. How do we do this? Are we going to be in our own way? Caller, you're on the Mays Jackson Show.
Mays.
Caller.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Mays. Ricky Hendon.
Senator Hendon, what's up, man?
Man, everything cool, man. You woke me up this morning. If we allow them to close 40% of the black polling places, we just a stupid ass people. I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm gonna go to court. I'm gonna sue. I didn't know about it. You know, I'm a sue. And the only thing I want to correct you on is Karen Yarbrough, the clerk. She has nothing to do with the Chicago polling place.
She closed 10%. I'm with you on that. And I wasn't a diss of her. Yeah, but it was 10%. They shut down 10% though, Ricky, in the burbs too.
Yeah, 10%. That's good. Listen, 10% is bad. 40%, like you say, is bloody murder. 40% is voter suppression. 40% is conspiracy. But it's done at the Chicago level. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, she has nothing to do with the 40% that we're about to get screwed with if we accept it. When I was committeeman, if they came to me about closing one polling place, I gave them hell. So we got to give our alderman hell. We got to give the black committeeman hell because they hold both seats. They the alderman and the committeeman damn near in every black ward.
Where's the chairman of the party? Where's the leader of the county? Where's the county leader who is over all of it? Where's the county the chairman of the Cook County Democrats? That's because you know what else, Ricky? They don't have no precinct captains to cover them, so they probably trying to rationalize that joint anyway. Go ahead.
Well, let me say this: Tony Preckwinkle don't like us at all. You know, it's just who she is. They know that cutting these polling places and precincts will help the incumbents. It will help the machine candidates. So all of these aldermen will probably go along with it. And it's bullshit. You know, the people need to get on their alderman, who is also the committeeman, in every black ward and say, this can't happen. And I'm going to sue. I tell you, I don't have a whole bunch of money, but I'm going to scrape up what I can and sue their ass. because this is voter suppression, exactly like you said. This is probably why Kerry didn't win. I didn't know 78 polling places didn't open. So I'm a political, activist. So I'm glad you told me that, because I didn't know. I knew about 3. I didn't know about those 78.
73.
And
man, I'm telling. And when I go back, so let me just say this, and I'm gonna throw this out here, and I know y'all gonna be mad at me for putting it out in the universe, but it was very clear that J.B. Pritzker was concerned about black turnout, right? Negatively. He did not, because they were concerned, guys, about black people pulling a Richard Irvin ballot, because they were scared. They did not know what was going to happen. When you look at Ricky expressly remember you calling me numerous times like, man, where they at? They not at the locations. Well, think about how many people, Ricky, if you voted in the building, and I'm going to tell you, you say some aldermen will go for it. I almost would disagree with you. Well, let me back up. I feel like the people that I know, they want them black voters. They want those senior voters, because if you in a place where it's black versus white, you need to know those people. You need to get, and the most loyal voters are our black seniors. But this is crazy to me.
But they're not.
Go ahead. What you saying?
I'm not cutting you off, but they're not. Most of the black wards are 80% black, 90% black. So they don't have to worry about the white vote or the Latino vote. What they have to worry about is the progressives or the people who are not satisfied with them. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I'm also concentrating on these automatic races. And what black people need to understand, if they close 40% of our polling places, that's in the future too. That's for black running for U.S. Senator. That's for blacks running for Congress. That's for blacks running for any damn thing. We cannot, this is the work, man. I haven't felt good last
40%. Think about the gravity of this. If Mitch McConnell was doing this, no, I'm just saying, if Mitch McConnell was doing this, we would be talking about, you would have President Biden would be flying in, the whole thing. We got people gallivanting around the country as they are practicing the same things. It's like, I feel like it's so crazy to me. Do you understand the gravity of closing 40 precincts? Then they had the audacity to say it's centralizing the voting process from taking it local. So now I don't walk a block. I don't walk across the street. I can't see my polling place. I got to get in a car. I got to drive, or I got to take the bus. If you move a polling place 5 or 6 blocks for a senior, guess what? They ain't going.
Right.
If they gotta get dressed and they gotta got to hustle, and it's like, and let me say, if they could, they would. But the crazy part is they don't even know where to go. So it ain't like, if they still gonna pull you on you showed up at the polling place, and matter of fact, I went to my polling place and they didn't know they had the door locked because of the school shooter. We had to bam on the door to get in because they was like, we got it locked because the principal, so now here I am in the blackest of black neighborhood, and I'm trying to vote with the president, and the president and us, we bamming on the door, wait outside 10 minutes to get in, and it is insidious. It's insidious.
Yes, it is. If this happened in Georgia, we wouldn't get Stacey Abrams as governor. She wouldn't have a chance. So we need to understand this is made of everything you said, whoever people went with mayor, this affects us all. This is the most important thing you said all day. I appreciate you, bro. I'm finna get up, put on my clothes. I'm calling my attorneys. We gonna sue. The board of the Chicago Board of Elections cannot do this. We cannot allow them to do this. We just can't, man. We cannot accept this. And we got to get on. I'm going to call my aldermen, all the ones I know, this morning. Like, did you know this? And I guarantee you some of them going to be like, I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? We used to, man, it ain't just seniors that ain't going to vote. If you go to your polling place where you think you're supposed to vote and they tell you don't vote there, it's closed, it's 5-8 blocks away, them people ain't going. Our turnout was already 10-12% black. Come on, man. Thanks, mate.
No problem.
Thanks for
I try.
waking me up at my day.
I try, man.
I'm good.
I try. All right, get on it. Let's get on it. Look, y'all, 40% of your polling places closed that's huge. Like, y'all, do y'all understand? You know how they talk about the lines, the long lines in Georgia and all of those places? And you know, and they saying it's got to be handicap accessible, ADA accessible. Riis, some of these precinct polling places have been the place that people have voted for their entire lives. What happens when that changes and nobody tells you? Riis, they say, oh, we mailed you something. Riis, how often do you check? Well, you probably check the mail every day. I check the mail once a week. Let me tell you, we went into the mailbox and our voter cards was in there after the election. Email. What's the voter outreach? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Anybody on the live line? Caller, if you're on the live line, hold on. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. But the largest voter disenfranchisement in Illinois is happening right underneath our eyes, and people be just cheat. Like, nobody is talking about this. Nobody. This is where your chairman of the Cook County Democratic Party, this is where y'all know, y'all hear me talking about committeemen? This is when the committeemen are supposed to be doing something. They green like this. It's the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back.
Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Mays Jackson.
Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show? What's up?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Hey! Okay, hold on. I'm going to make an official nomination right now that we make Katie the new president of the phone club. Riis, can I get a second from you, man?
I second it.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Everybody tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. If you vote that Katie should be the new president of the phone club, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, you are now the new president of the phone club. Katie from Ashburn.
We did it. We did it. You're going to be the next president.
How you doing, boss lady?
Fine. Thank you. I accept that nomination. Thank you.
All right. You got drafted.
Mays Jackson.
It's the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Mays said, we out of here. Peace.
And now, traffic and weather.
In my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take.
Good morning, we're sending for the media black people. It's Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report as we head over to the Kennedy now. O'Hare to the loop will be 58 minutes. Outbound will be 46. On the Eden, Deerfield to the Exchange, an hour and 3 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 52. On the Eisenhower with Thorndale to the loop, 66 minutes. Outbound 44. The Stevenson is an hour and 18 minutes from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 30 minutes outbound. Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 54 minutes, 34 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 23 minutes to the loop, 12 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive, 55th to Jackson will be 15 minutes. Jackson to 55th will be 7. And the north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, 8 minutes. Bryn Mawr to Randolph, 11. Today's weather is currently 70 and sunny. Today will be high of 81 with a low of 64. I'm Reese the Ruler. Back to the Mays Jackson Show.
A lot of thoughts in my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take, and appreciate. A lot of people talk fly, but I levitate. Rise above with the love when I meditate.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Reese the Ruler. That was, see, man, it's like, you know how you be having, you know, I know y'all was mad at, look, sometimes we gotta be like, they are coming to get us all. Y'all need to understand this whole voter disenfranchisement. And I do think that the senator is correct when you think about the long-term ramifications of this, right? I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but the fact that I saw that 73 precincts were closed and 59,000 votes weren't there, the fact that we knew that somebody knew that 10% of all the polling places were going to change. Let me ask you a question. If you lived in a ward, precinct, or township and you have a Democratic committeeman, did anybody get a notification that your polling place changed? Did you have a precinct captain? Did you have somebody there saying where to go? So now I want you to think about, for my audience, if you are on the younger end and there's nobody to direct you to go, where to go to vote, who does that benefit? If 39,000 people, if 59,000 people didn't show up to a polling place and we just said, we beat our black people up for turnout. I mean, these are classic playbook tricks that you see in the South, and now you see them here and nobody said nothing. It's the Mays Jackson Show. Caller, you're on the Mays Jackson Show. Man, I don't even know what to ask you about. I want to talk about the 40% of the polling places closing, and I want to talk about can Willie Wilson win. I'm just telling you, I don't think that any of this is disconnected. There is a fear of black candidacy. There is a fear of black outrage in politics that they know is there. They just are trying to beat it. Caller, what's up?
Good morning, Mays. How are you?
All right. What's up, Miko? Uh-oh. Go ahead. I had you on my list today. Go ahead, Tamiko. Tell us about the new expansion of what's cracking. Go ahead.
What you mean you had me on your list today? What I do?
No, I had you on. It says right
because we need to talk. So
no, it says. Okay, hold on. Calm down.
What it say?
It says mining the Republican Party. That's all. That's all I was. That's
right. So
go ahead.
It's right. Yeah. So maybe we thinking about this maybe all the wrong way. So voter suppression comes in all shapes and forms and sizes. So it's okay to hoop and holler about these 40% of precincts they're going to close, but it was that type of voter suppression. But we never hooped and holler about the voter suppression of only the incumbents was able to go into those senior buildings anyway. That was voter suppression too. Okay, so let's talk. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about eradicating that as well. Can we talk about that as well while we're taking care of this issue? Because it's definitely an issue. And while you're talking about senior buildings, we need to be talking about Tracy Scott as far as Chicago Housing Authority, not taking up for her constituency as far as her residents, her seniors, for CHA buildings, and also as far as HUD. Because not all senior buildings belong to Chicago Housing Authority. HUD has direct control too, and their management companies that they hire. So that is also that's a class issue as well that we can pretty much bring up as well. Because in those communities where these developments dwell, people in those communities go over into those polling places to vote as well, which is our people. So there's many ways to attack this.
So I think,
but let's talk about all the voter suppression that happens in these areas.
I think that is a conversation, right? I think that there are many components of it. I would say I think there's plenty of components of voter suppression. I think this component of it, right, is probably the most insidious. I think there is a component like where when we talk about who can get into the buildings, et cetera, and I think that's a voter suppression in public housing. There's also a voter suppression in that in tall high-rise buildings, et cetera, or allowing people access to it. I just think this whole thing, though, of closing access, like taking places that people have gone for years and closing them with no notice to say that's where... Like you show up and there ain't no voters and it's the polling place is closed and they say no? That's crazy to me. Go to the live line. Call you on the Mays Jackson Show. But I do think we should have... I think voter suppression tactics... we need to be talking about Democratic voter suppression tactics. I think they went above and beyond. And I'm going to tell you, reading this story, I got a lot of concerns about this last election cycle and how much shenanigans went on during that. 73 polling places did not open at all with no notice, no nothing. So you just That's what we do in Illinois. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show.
Hi, good morning, Mays.
Good morning. Who there?
Hi, this is the other Cassandra. This is Cassandra Curry. How are
Hey,
you?
Cassandra Curry, how you doing? See, I thought y'all was around there messing with my head. I thought I had Cassandra. I thought y'all was like I thought you was doing me like what your name is, who be having 4 and 5 different profiles, telling me I'm what your name is today. Cassandra, thanks for calling. What's going on, sis?
Hey, listen, first of all, I'm incensed about what you just said. I can't believe. Well, yes, I can. That's what they're doing because Illinois has always been slicker how they do things. But I'm listening to you and how you broke it down about how Dr. Wilson, this could affect him. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we know this is what they're up to. So my suggestion for Dr. Wilson right now, he's got the funds. So start galvanizing his troops and getting rental vans in place and go to all of these senior facilities and have vans sitting at the ready to take these seniors to these new polling locations where they're not walking 3 blocks or 6 blocks or however it's going to be. If he does that, then that will counter all of this craziness with them taking these polling locations out of these senior places or where seniors will get so disgusted that they don't want to vote. I think that's what this right now, since we know this is what they're up to, then if I were he at this point, this is one of the things, this would be one of my solutions to this issue that they have with these voting places. I don't know your thoughts on that, but I think that's something to think about because this is going to continue on. And the fact that our leadership knows nothing about this, is saying nothing about this is troubling to me as a baby boomer. It's troubling to me. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think get your troops ready so that you can move the seniors to it's the souls to the polls.
Ooh.
But in this case, you're taking your seniors.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Cassandra. Thank you for calling. Let me tell you, I think, so there's 2 things, right? We're talking about it from the Willie Wilson campaign standpoint, and I think that's the second tier. I think the first tier is creating the environment for the narrative to be complete. So if I tell you that black turnout and black people are down and I am of a different group and I want to take your power, what do? I start to create storylines that show you're not as strong as you are. So now imagine if you add 50,000 votes back into the black community. Let's just say of the 73, let's just take 1/3 of them, right? And you inject 20,000 more votes. 70 divided by 3 is what? 22, 23? 23, right? So imagine you put 23,000 votes back into the black community. And then you take another 10% and you put them elsewhere back into those places that were gone. Y'all, this is more than Dr. Wilson. This is the next step. Remember when y'all talked about the ward remap and we thought we won? Remember? This is, I'm going to let you win. I'm going to let you think you won. So now what happens if you're in a split ward and I split all the precincts, but all of the polling places are on Western Avenue after the same places where you just got attacked 3 years ago? How many split precincts or how many precincts go black or go white? How many of those precincts are put in places where now the security doesn't allow you to come in or judge you? Go to the live line. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. Caller, you there?
Yes, this is Katie. How are you?
Katie, what's up, Katie? They trying to get y'all. That's your girl. I seen you taking a picture with her. She trying to get us.
Yes, we do need to go deep into this because I remember when I went to vote on election day, which I do for just for tradition. It was about 3 polling places in that little school. At least 3 polling places, and the school was being they had a lot of work to do with the school, so it was a mess. It was a total mess. But people were saying, when I was standing outside handing out carry stuff, people were saying that they didn't know where to go. And a lot of people were saying that they didn't know where to go. Now that I recall, and so I just got in on the not too long ago. So who brought this up? Why wasn't this covered by the news? It's pitiful.
Well, let me back up.
I'm like Richard Henry. We need to sue.
Thank you, Katie. I think it was covered. I got the story out the news. Somebody pulled my coattail to it yesterday. But I just read it as sometimes so here's the thing. They tell you the story that we can't find election day workers. Right? And so we're closing the places down. And remember how we talked about all the problems that happened on election day because there were no precinct captains and there was no people to show you and open up the polling places. And realistically, the reason that you used to know a polling place wasn't open was because a precinct captain who was involved in a political organization who knew how important those votes was calling saying, yo, this polling place ain't open. And I need it because I got to get my votes. Well, that system has been degraded. So now, here we are, 2 months later, finding out that Cook County closed 73 precincts in Chicago. They didn't give us a map of where they are. They talked about 3 that they closed in the 42nd Ward. But I want to know, what did they close? Do they close white precincts or do they close black precincts? Help me understand what happened here. And going forward, if this continues, this is an erosion. This isn't an overnight thing. This is one of those things where they tell you, oh, well, you've been hearing the story. We can't find election day workers. We can't find election day workers. So then Tennille says, well, what if you can't find people to work for it? How important is democracy? How important is democracy? Raise the price. Supply and demand. How important is democracy? How important? Can you imagine? Let me tell you. And the funny part of it is Riis, this used to be the advantage that white folks used to take advantage of when we had projects. When we had projects and housing, that was how people became elected. Now that we still have the ability to try in limited locations to be able to use that as an advantage, they want to take it away. Woo! It's the Mays Jackson Show. Y'all done got me preaching on here. What's up? Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What you got for me? How many calls I got up there? Okay.
Good morning, Byron here.
Bye. Go ahead, Byron. Whoop us. Give us a whooping. And Ruthie's not here, so you can say how you got to say it.
I wish he was. But anyway, who's doing all this planning for us? Is it the Republicans? I mean, who's informing us? Who cares more about us? The damn Republicans or the damn Democrats? And who we give 95% of our vote to take care of us? Make sure we're on the right track. Make sure we're doing the right things. Make sure we get the right information. Who is doing that for us?
I thought it was
me. Who we vote for?
I be trying.
Oh, Mays.
Byron, I try, man. I try to tell y'all.
I know, but when you're in the forest, right, and the wolf, woo, makes a noise, it's hard to hear it when you got people giving you free cheese and keeping you back, holding you back. These people who are professed to got our best interests really are lying to us, and we don't see it. I've been seeing it, Mays. I'm trying to get out of this city. I am trying my best. My dad refused to move. He won't move. And let's move to Florida. He refused to move, babe. I am stuck here with you guys. And I got to survive all these bullets and all this crime. I got to survive because that crime is another thing. But just the information of sharing the information with the brothers and sisters like you're doing it. There are people who we put in the office to do this for us. And where they're at. They're silent because they're part of the plan. They know what's going on, Maze. We give them a pass. Why are we giving them a pass? Each one of those aldermen who voted not to raise that limit from 6 to 10, they have to go. I would love to buy a billboard on the west side and the south side to put one up. I would spend some money, $10,000, whatever it costs, to put one up, because these people have to be taught a lesson. They're not helping us. They're in a way. Tires around each one for each one of them. I mean, nice. Was that clean? Where's Riis at anyway? How come he not saying anything?
Riis, he back there thinking, if I could do thought bubbles, I told y'all we should have went with Richard Irvin. Look, he got thought bubbles. I told y'all.
Exactly. We got to mix it up. Right.
Riis back there got thought bubbles.
We got to mix it up, man. We got to mix it up.
If I could put like one of them things, you know how it'd be like on the cartoons? It's like Riis be like, okay. I told you, nigga. They're like, y'all wanted to be with JB. Y'all want to be Democrat. I told y'all. Look, he said, I tried to get y'all to come to Richard Irvin. Man, Byron.
They're just so stuck. They're stuck with that D. They're stuck with it. They don't realize it. It's the best detriment. They're voting against the best interest.
Byron, this is so crazy
Get
to me.
Get something for your vote.
It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy to me. Because I really believe that if I was telling this story and I was talking about this being in Georgia, there would be 300 white people talking about we got to go support Stacey Abrams. Ain't nobody nowhere talking about nothing at all. And these people be sitting right next to each other like, I'm trying to kill you as we speak. Hi. Hi. They be like, hey. They give you a Facebook like, a love, but they be poisoning you. It's like they put what's eye drops in your drink every day. One day we gonna wake up and we just gonna be dead because all the people we was sitting next to who be like, I'm with you.
Jonestown. It's called Jonestown, Maze. It's Jonestown because they're important. Every day across that Texas and Arizona border, there's about 5,000 people coming in. And they're busing to all the cities that are immigrant liking. I forgot to call it sanctuary cities.
Oh yeah, you see that? You see what your boy in Texas doing? He said, "Oh, y'all want sanctuary?" So we taking them all, and he's sending them straight to Cali. He's sending them to New York City. I'm gonna tell y'all now.
Washington D.C.
And they about to start once they gonna start, and now they talking about they don't want them. Now we about to get busted. Don't be surprised they start putting bus loads over here to us.
No. The federal government every night ship these people across the country, even some to Chicago. They're shipping them for free with their free cell phones and their free information to go where they want. Every night they're doing that, Maze. Even to Florida, they're shipping them. The Florida governor's been tracking that stuff. The federal government got so much control. You cannot stop. There's no TSA for these people. The federal government is put on their plane at our expense, shipping them to all the major cities in the United States. Guess who's come to these schools? These people who don't even speak Spanish, don't speak English, are coming into our schools, and now it's going to slow down the progress that our kids are going to be making because they have to blend them in. And in this United States, any kid that comes in here, whether you're legal or not illegal, you have to go to school. And they're putting them all in our schools, and this can slow down the progress our kids will be making at our expense. And nobody says anything. Danny Davis don't say anything. The Panther man don't say anything. And Robin Kelly she just like to be quiet. We accept this, Maze. We have to do something different. When you go to the poll, send a message to all of them. And you can't vote for none of them, including the alderman. The alderman is a disgrace. People come on your show for years and talk all this yang talk, and then do the same thing the other ones are doing. I hate it. Help me, Maze. I'm done.
Byron, I need some help too, man. Oh, y'all break it down. Y'all break it down. Y'all make me feel like an abused woman. Oh, God, I told you I was already
You're the only person out there, man. You're the only person out there. Thank God for you, man.
Oh, God.
I swear.
I told you I'm like the ultimate side chick. Thank you, Byron. Oh, I just want y'all to know, man. Oh, it's more callers. Don't beat me up no more, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Help me. Helps me. It's the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller? What you got?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I got a question. Okay.
If we know that this they closing these polls, whoever's doing it, what is our solution? Shouldn't we have a solution of start having a quote unquote GoFundMe or something where we can start renting the buses or talk to the people who own these little school buses and put the seniors on there and take them to the places that's open?
So I think that's a partial solution. But here's the problem with that is that puts the economics of that on us when it realistically we pay for that. Essentially what they need to do is change the policy. So I say that that's a solution, and that's ultimately a candidate-based solution. What I feel like we need is a policy-based solution that says, no, we are not going to disenfranchise, and even if working the polling place is $1,000 a day, that is how valuable our democracy is to us. I don't know that they've put everything into getting people to work these polling places or work at these locations. I think that they've said, let's cut them in half because it makes our life easier. And I think the fight is not for us to, and I'm with you on GoFundMe, but I think that's going to be a candidate issue. What we don't want is a systemic process that disenfranchises or mutes the voices that we have. Because the other part of the seniors getting on these buses is like, what are we talking about? A school bus? Are we making sure that they can get on the bus, off the bus? Are they oxygen tanks? Do we have somebody that's going to make them handicap accessible? All of that, and they're leveraging all of that, but using it separately. So I do appreciate that, and I do think we got to be solutions-based, but I think we got to be thinking about what is the policy solutions-based, which is there needs to be a polling place for every X number of people within X number of feet from their place or whatever. But I do appreciate that. Thank you for your call, caller.
So,
go ahead. You got more? Go ahead.
Yeah. So how are we gonna stop? I guess what I said is, I guess that's kind of like at the end of the road, if you will. But how are we going to stop it so they don't close these polling places? How do we stop that?
So
what's the most effective way for us to start doing that?
So I think the most effective way is to start, first of all, finding out who the members of the Board of Chicago election commissioners are, and then start to hit them in the social, digital, and email. Then I think the next step would be to organize to physically go down there and then say, okay, who is identify and start engaging that office. And then essentially what we need to do is start coming up and helping people say that this is an economic opportunity. If you knew you could make $300 or $400 a day working a polling place, I'm going to tell you what also happened realistically. This used to be the job of the committeeman, and the committeeman would pass out the judges based on the seniors in the buildings, et cetera. And those seniors who were on fixed incomes would want to work the polling place because it gave them an extra $300 or $400 to put in their pockets. As these committeemen have gone away from being actually working and doing the committeeman's work, what has wound up happening is they don't have those relationships with the community. You should have probably, if I asked you, do you know 200 people in the neighborhood that you could pay $300 to work for one day, do you think you could find them? I think you could.
How many?
300.
Yeah, so that'd be a good I know people who will be willing to help, even if I don't have the 200 or 300. I know people who can help me to get the 200 or 300.
And that's my point.
So
right?
and
go ahead.
Right, and what you just said, how do we start doing that? Start going down there. You still meeting this Saturday?
Yep.
I told you before, I work a lot, but I take out what time is the meeting. I not remember where to play. What time is I come?
Meeting is at 10 o'clock.
This is crazy. They're literally slapping us in our face right now, and we just looking and complaining about it.
Yep. But somebody got to know it's happening. Somebody can't be mad about it if it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I can't be the only person mad. It can't just be the 12 of us. It's like we got to see this in the broader picture and say, okay. And the solution ain't just me. The solution is us saying, look, y'all, here is another example. Like, what is JB Pritzker doing? What is anybody that is coming to our neighborhood saying about this? This is an issue. So I be on the radio talking about it, and then everybody else make it like I'm crazy because they come by and they be like, just take the picture. Thank you, my brother. Caller, is there any more callers on the Mays Jackson show? What do we do?
Maze.
Yes.
Hey, listen. Can you hear me?
I can.
Why is you beating around the bush? Aren't these civil rights violations or something like that? Don't we have to? Can we put in complaints to the Department of Justice? Because these people don't understand here of us just pretty much calling them time out. So we got to reverse that policy. Ooh, what investigative? You know what I'm saying? Department or agency we talk to as far as you know what I'm saying? The law. That we start putting in complaints while we're talking to them.
It seemed like you know what, Miko and I have never really been in that space, but it does seem like that is a Justice Department civil rights something, like somewhere in there. Like I just feel like, and I'm gonna tell you, if somebody filed a case, I feel like the Democrats would be so embarrassed, right? Like, how is it that if we're fighting for voter enfranchisement down south and then up here, you running for president?
So let's talk about this.
You running for president? We got somebody talk about running for president in a place where they're disenfranchising black voters. I think it is a real story. I think y'all be knowing some of the other tricks in the book.
Right, because this ain't and we have to think about this, and that's another thing. And whoever come on, get on the train, that we need to start balancing the scale. We need some people that's willing to we need to start talking to these Republicans here, because we got to think about this. Anybody talking about, we got to make sure our votes get to the poll and make sure that we got the Democratic turnout. They ain't worried about the Democratic turnout now, are they? Are we thinking about that? Or are they worried about they seeing a serious shift go on here? Are they worried about what kind of Republican votes they may see come from our community this time? And this is why they're shutting them down. Because they may see that this time, they may see that we're actually tired. And they actually see them in those votes. But honestly, I hear what you're saying about the organizing and the policy, but no, what investigative agency that we pretty much talk to that as far as voter disenfranchisement, as far as the law? That's what we need to know to start filing complaints while we're talking to them about this policy, and you guys need to get it together right now before these primaries happen. Before this election happens. Not afterwards. We want to straighten out now. But we need to also be filing complaints with the Department of Justice or somebody.
Right.
And let them know we're not playing with you.
Yeah, I think you're on to something. Y'all know I'll be nervous about talking to them people, right? Like, I know y'all.
And I am too, and that's our problem, and that's how they know they can get us, because they know that's something that we'll never do as a people.
Right, I'm with you.
Because they know that we have been pretty much been terrified and terrorized by that system. They know that's something that we'll never do, and that's why we always get what we get from everybody and them as well.
I think you are definitely onto something, and I think now I'm letting you go because I have to close out the show because I got to get to a meeting. That is Tamiko Holt. She is the president of What's in It for the Black People, and she hung up herself. Oh, what? It's more calls? It's one. Take the last call, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Tamiko, thank you. I think that's a great point. That may be a charge that we lead, and I do think that it could have national implications if a lawsuit like that was filed. Now, they would do everything to dismiss it, but I think it would create some real questions. Call you on the Mays Jackson Show.
Good morning, my son.
Good morning, Sister Zakia. How you feeling this morning?
Well, I'm not feeling too well, but I am feeling well enough to ask you, who are the people that we can start emailing our discontent, sending letters, phone calls, and possibly going to their offices? Who are the people that's behind this? Because right now, they need to hear from us. I'm ready to get started on doing that.
It's the Chicago Board of Elections. I'm going to get you the names of the commissioners right now. You can go to chicagoelections.gov. Give me a hot second. I'm going to tell you. The commissioners are Maricel A. Hernandez, William Cressy, and June A. Brown. They are all commissioners.
Maricel and who else?
And then there's Charles Holliday. It's Maricel A. Hernandez, William J. Cressy, and June A. Brown.
And you said Charles Holliday?
Yep. Charles Holiday Jr. is the executive.
Surprised that Charles Holiday.
He's the executive.
That's a good brother. That brother's been down there for a long time.
You got to talk to him.
Yeah, I know him.
And
I've been knowing that brother forever.
So I got to figure out who he is. Is it the dark-skinned brother with the glasses?
Yes, that's him.
All right,
That's him.
So we got to help him. Then we got to help him get this right because he has always been a good dude down there. But I think sometimes it's bigger
That's
than him.
right. They work against him because he tries to work with the people, and they try to work against him. But he's so good at what he do, they can't get rid of him. You know.
So we gonna have to check that out.
It makes them look bad.
So let's find out. Let's get a conversation.
Marcel Hernandez.
Yep, Maricel Hernandez.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll call the Chicago Board of Election this morning.
Do that, and let's send them some emails. I'm going to get their names up, and we'll get them on the page so everybody can send them a note that says we're not okay with this.
Without question.
Thank you, Sister Zakiya. I appreciate you. Look, y'all, we have had a great show. I caught the Holy Ghost again. I didn't mean to. Look, so for Mays, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Mays said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed business